I guess, yeah.
So,
Except unless we die.
of the three of us,
Hello and welcome everyone to Squad Ops Wednesday event. Tonight we are playing Operation Green Acres. This is our second time running with the British in an operation.
Go away.
I will be commentating
Who
for
are
you
these
tonight.
guys?
bcarr is joining me as a first time commentator. Say hi, bcarr.
Hello, how's it going, guys?
Are we briefing? I love you.
Alright, and then Barton is in the background doing the production, giving us this lovely multicam stream we have going tonight. Tonight's operation is a pretty entertaining one. This is a new one. Second time we've run with the British in an operation. Our commands for tonight are Expit and Stormfront. So under Expit's command, he's going to start as the British. It's Crispy in charge of Squad 1. Squad 2 will be run by Mr. Husey. Squad 3 will be run by Shadowed Ritual, who is very excited not to be behind the camera, but actually out in front. And Squad 4 is going to be run by Noble 6. Gar, do you want to run through the Russians?
We're like ghosts.
Looks like Stormfront is going to be rolling with the Russian team today. We've got his squad leaders, including Pony, XF, Bird Person, and Truth. And Truth is the name. Truth Realm is the name I am not familiar with. I'm a relatively new member of Squad Ops, but Truth Realm's not someone I'm familiar with.
Yeah, he's definitely an old timer. He first met him when I joined, and he's been kind of gone for a while. It's really exciting to see him back though.
Don't forget, most of you guys got bipods.
So right now we're just kind of ready. Just the commands are going over their different plans, trying to figure out their strategy of the game, and we're just kind of waiting for them to get figured out. Tonight's operation is a one life event, so this is our standard one life. You get what you spawn in with, and you just have to do the best you can with it.
Actually also a bipod.
Yeah.
And tonight's operation is all about this red house that I'm currently showing. Is the British have airdropped into the area of Yeho, and their objective is to defend this beautiful red house with this like unbuilt barn next to it, and they have to hold that position for the entire game. They have a bunch of lodges set up out in the distance that they need to, that if they decide to, they can go pick up and get supplies to build HMGs, a tow missile system, or a mortar. And then the Russians pretty simply just have infantry and they have to push in, try to dislodge the British forces here.
Not enough room for me.
So, yeah, so right now we're still just waiting. This is a kind of an entertaining one. I know, bcarr, you've commanded a couple of our smaller Friday Night Fire Night fights, but what would you think of this if you were to command it?
I'm Canadian.
Commanding UK, if I was commanding British,
I feel like everybody in this game.
I would try to
except for me.
get
From
one of the Logi trucks, because I feel like having some sort of supply is important. And even if it's something simple, like if we get enough supply to put down an HMG, that's great. If we get enough supply to put down a little bit more defenses and reinforcement, reinforcing structures in a small compound, I would try to focus my defense around that, or at least a fallback point. At least securing one truck would be ideal, and that truck would probably be Delta 6. Delta 6-8 is where one of the trucks are hidden. I would
that
secure
would be a
that
pretty
truck.
good one to go for.
Yeah, just simply because I think it's most likely the furthest away from any Russian advance, and also it's got the best. If we know if something's coming from Echo 8, which is where one of the places Russia can start from, you get a lot of advance warning. You can reposition your forces more to the north. Plus, you've got that highway. Your truck is going to move at max speed at all times.
Right.
Secondary is the Juliet 4-9 truck, but that is a lot more. That's a lot riskier because enemies coming from Russia main obviously is going to see you. You're going to lose that team. If they're coming from Lima 6, depending on how they advance on Petrivka, you could lose that team for sure. And it's more of a gamble, that one. And Juliet 7-2
yeah, it
is
really
probably
is a gamble. Yeah, I know if I was to command it, I would probably give one squad the commando role and tell them you guys are to run out there in buddy teams with your knives out, and you're going to go. Each buddy team is going after a truck, and say good luck, and then the rest of the team just hold the point as long as we can.
Do you want the HMGs
Um,
out, or do you want to prioritize?
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to defend because I don't actually think Petrivka is very easy to defend without all of the supply of a good Logi run.
I think
So
you
it'll be
need.
really interesting.
You have to
Yeah, go ahead.
concentrate. Sorry, you have to concentrate yourself in one subset of buildings in Petrivka, and because there's no real, unless you want to like play this sort of go around the clock, go around the circle sort of thing, where you start in maybe a southern point or south, like southwest or the southeast of Petrivka, and you sort of rotate yourself around north, and then go clockwise around or something like that. That can get super complicated to explain when you're commanding. So
Yeah, well, it's also just it's spreading out your forces really far when you only have 3 full squads to defend. If you send out that last squad to go get the truck, it's kind of like, do we really do that?
the other thing to remember too is the middle of Petrivka is a killing field. It can be, there are some trees there. It's a lightly wooded forest, I would say, but overall, it's slopes. There's slopes. There's maybe like 1 or 2 ditches that really are serviceable for movement, and even then, they're super vulnerable to being flanked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really hard area to take, and the Russians only have foot mobiles. They don't have advanced armor support. They just have a couple of mortars, which I don't really quite understand the rules on. They seemed a little funky with how they was set up, because the Russians can only place down the mortars wherever they start, even though I think the mortars at that starting position in Lima 6 where they're at might be out of range of most of Petrivka.
Yeah, I mean, just judging the operational map we have here, it really looks like the only, like Echo 8 and Hotel 9 starting points for Russia seem to have limited access into Petrivka. Lima 6, I feel like it has 0 real effectiveness into Petrivka.
Yeah, I think the only way they can go in is to go in the India 5 force there at that intersection. And actually, it looks like the British are just about ready to call for a platoon brief. I think the commands are pulling their people over. So we'll go ahead and listen on in to the British commander and see what Exped's big plan is.
Green Acres. Our platoon's been separated from the company. We pair dropped last night, and apparently it didn't went well because we're here, we're by ourselves, and all our supplies are all over the place. If you open up our maps, you can see the Logi trucks. That's where our supplies are scattered. This is how we're gonna take care of our defense and try to gather our supplies. Section 1 is going to, what are they going to do? They're going to go out to the east side. They're going to set up in the defilade just southeast of us here, somewhere in Hotel 5-9. They're also going to set an OP a little bit to the northwest of the village over there. That's in India 5-6 area somewhere. They're also going to send a buddy pair to go gather the logistics in Juliet 4. Section 2 is going to set up on the south in Lower Petrivka. They're going to send out a buddy pair to gather the logistics in Juliet 7. Section 3 is going to protect our west side in Central Petrivka. So Shadow Ritual will distribute his squad or his section as he sees fit, and Section 4 is going to take care of the defense here on the headquarters. The main goal here is to basically protect our headquarters until we can get rescued. So we're going to play kind of a outside perimeter defense, and then once we figure out what direction they're coming from, we're going to close it up and or focus our defenses in one direction or the other so that we can fend off the Russians. Hopefully we get some supplies back. We can set up a mortar, and so we can counter mortar or counter smoke retreat of our units as they come back. And that's the kind of the order priority for us as far as our supplies go. Riflemen sandbags and wire. Remember, don't block doorways, but anything that's a good spot in which you think you might be able to set up your ARs on, I would use that sandbag for that. Wire, of course, you can deny dead space behind walls, or if they're going to crawl up in a ditch in the forest, use the wire there to push them out into the open. Russians get a lot of mortars, so make sure you always have cover, or you have a quick way to get back to cover once you hear the mortars popping off. Any quick questions? All right.
Are you single?
Yeah.
Am I single? Yes. No. Your section leaders will go ahead and brief you on the details of the plan. Good luck, guys, and I'll see you in round 2.
Just a question. Quick question. I had to restart my Discord. If anyone can drag me into the ops channel. I'm in pre-ops right now. Thank you.
I got you. You move.
Thanks.
Oof.
All right.
All right. So we just listened into the British briefing there and his awesome plan of kind of defending the Upper Petrivka area. It sounds like he's going to send a buddy team out to every one of those lodges and play the gamble of try to get them all. Not really sure how that's going to end up working for him. It seems kind of risky to have so many people off point. And then the rest of his squads, he's going to hold, I think, if I understood him correctly, he's going to hold a squad in the north end of Petrivka, right where they're all starting. He's going to put a squad in the lower end of Petrivka, and then one squad right in the middle, right where Shadowed Ritual is in Squad 3. And I'm not really sure what his plan is with the 4th squad. I kind of missed that part. It seems kind of like a really spread out defense for a pretty easily defended area.
Meanwhile, we've got Russia over here starting in Lima 6. They've moved their lodges out of the way. Something tells me they're not going to use them. I think the plan here is they're going to sabotage the lodges at point J72 and Juliet 72 and Juliet 49. I think they're going to move out to those positions as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's an interesting call. And actually, I think those positions are about equidistant, so they might get there just as the buddy teams of experts get out there.
I think depending on where the buddy team starts. Oh, here we go. We're live. I think depending on where the buddy team starts for the British forces moving out of J49, that'll be the closest race.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 2 Russian squads are heading, looks like northwest from L6, and 1 squad is moving out towards J72.
Yeah, so I have a Chameleon and Jack 0800 here. Looks like they're going for the Juliet 7 truck. And then I think that's just a full fire team from the British is possibly moving out for the Juliet 4 truck. So it'll be kind of interesting to see where they end up and how they approach those positions, because those 2 trucks are really wide in the open, aren't they?
Juliet 4 might have a little bit of forest cover, or maybe I'm not entirely sure because it's off the road a little bit. J72 is definitely within that village area. We've got
it's in that big field to the south of it.
Sugar
right?
has leading a squad towards J72 right now. The entire rest of the Russian team is heading to the northern point at J4.
Yeah, it appears that the 4th squad for the British is actually going for kind of a wide setup here. So there's the 2 buddy teams that are way out in front, and then the rest of the squad are kind of following up behind them, moving to village. And then there's this poor buddy team that's running way out west that has to go get that truck.
Well, it's the safe bet. I'd volunteer for that detail.
Yeah, it is the safe bet. Yeah, I would volunteer for that one if I knew the Russians were coming from the east. It's actually good.
If I was leading that squad, I'd be going for that logi personally, and then putting a fire team lead to go towards, or taking a fire team lead and telling them, hey, look, you're going to J4, hey, look, you're going to J7.
Yeah, and as the Russians attacking from the east like this, it actually gives them a fairly good advantage, because it makes the British have to look into this massive, beautiful sunrise. And it looks awesome, but yeah, it's really hard to take out details when you're looking at that bright sun and be like, oh yeah, there's a guy in dark green wandering around 500 meters out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if these guys are here. It looks like Lawn Darts, a buddy team, running up against Best Pony Squad.
Yeah, it looks like
they're within
most
visual
of the Russian
distance, I
force
believe.
is coming up here.
Yeah, 3 squads worth are coming into this objective up here at Juliet 49.
Yeah, Londarts and his buddy Yemez. I think they're going to be the first 2 to die. That's my bet.
Close to Logi, he spots an enemy infantry.
Oh, did
Looks
they
like-
just destroy the Logi?
Guido took a fire at it with his lat. It's hit.
Copy that, squad 1. Command is 3.
Yeah, light trucks like that go off of
three.
You
one
want to push
hit
out
like
for this
that.
Logi on the west if we got contact on the east?
Yeah, let's go gather that logic. Squad 1, tell him
Copy.
to, Squad 1, tell your buddy pair to leave that logi alone to the north.
Is that another line going off in that southern truck?
I believe I heard one go
Squad 1,
off.
this command.
Yeah. This is one thing I was worried about with the trucks
Squad
being
1,
visible
go ahead
and
and set up
known.
in the forest line that is north of you.
150, 200 meters.
There's like Best Ponies coming in here to Lawn Darts' front here.
Let's boogie back.
Lawn Darts
No, I want
called
your
out
entire
5
squad
of
at
them
that
in front of
forest
him,
line north.
and he's like, nope,
The Russians
I'm
may have
running
them
out
at
of there.
main.
Yeah,
Maybe,
there's no way they
west,
didn't see
maybe
what
they're
was
on
going
the right
on,
and then
especially
south.
after that lat shot. I know Lawn Darts made an immediate move at that tree line,
Yeah,
which is a
just
good
two,
call.
two.
And this next call is actually really good too.
Yeah, the Logi, yeah. My body team was going
Looks like the immediate disengage, or not.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to
Alright,
get a
copy that.
good camera view of
Alright,
Lawn
their
Darts
starting
and his
position
buddy
is leave
here.
at 6.
Oh,
Looks
I
like
think they're
they've
moving
been
into the
ordered
tree
to push
line.
in. I think they've been ordered
Oh,
to push
no.
up more.
Buddy pair.
Oh,
They're gonna-
that's a bad call.
Here it comes.
go
Best
in there,
Pony and Lawn
Darts.
Darts head to head
Here we go.
within 20
See who
meters.
wins. Oh, Pony's going to see him.
Yeah, man, hit the deck.
Copy.
Oh, they both went prone at the same time.
Yeah, they both saw each other at the same time, and they're both looking for each other.
He does see a whole squad.
Oh,
Long
there
down.
goes Darts. Oh, poor Darts.
Lawn
One
Darts
hit to
goes
the
down.
dome.
Sinful
Yeah,
gets
and he was
hit.
the medic too.
Squad 3, go ahead and fall back.
That's a big loss for that squad. And poor Yamez here. It looks like he's got what, about half the Russian team all hunting for him.
Yep, looks like Mags. Yeah, it looks like Mags is giving some jives, throwing a grenade in. One already goes out.
There he goes.
Squad 3, go
Oh,
ahead and
poor
fall
Yamez.
back.
Poor
Looks like
Darts.
full
That's
platoon pushes from
really
the east.
unfortunate.
Copy.
That's a
I'm
clean
gonna move
execution
my,
there by
right team
Russia,
close
though.
to
Best
east
Pony
of Bravo. You
squad
can pick up
showing
their
that it
position.
means business.
Yeah,
Zero
and
casualties.
I don't think the Russians took any casualties, but they did let the rest of Darts' squad in the middle of their line. Except they do engage, so this might be interesting to see what happens with this squad that's being
XF
sandwiched.
moving an element into their southeast here. I think.
Command, just get advised. I did lock
I
my
don't think
Uh-oh,
the
here we
British
go, they're in the
realized this
open.
element in the south.
You guys pretty soon.
Yeah, they have no idea. Look at them in the open.
Oh, I know. I'm looking at a Fulcrum right now,
Copy that
and
one.
he's
XF is
usually
gonna get
really on
popped
top
here.
of
Start
these.
making contact
Oh
with
no,
us.
for the British.
Well, I don't think they have good positions. They're too far up on the side of the hill. Oh, here we go. There goes XF.
Oh, is that XF?
Yep, looks like Uncle Fucker looks like he destroys XF there from range. That Lex goes down too. They're throwing smokes. They're sort of panicking because they're in the middle of this gulf here. This
Oh,
Russian
I
squad
remember
down to
this golf
7.
from the mod test we did,
Karen, this is 2.
and this is a deadly little zone.
Yeah, but it's team.
I believe the squad is calling in the contact to the command channel right now. So
Yeah.
CPS looks like he took a little bit damage. Ooh, a frag goes on
is
the
that another
EJQ.
one from a frag?
Yep.
Command, this is 1.
I believe that was Combat Wombat's frag.
Oh my.
Enemy
Yeah, and
infantry,
Crispy is also looking at that
J457.
Russian element to his north. So
Someone
it looks
goes
like,
down across the Gulf too.
So maybe
Fulcrum got
Lawn
shot
Darts
off.
and Yem actually had a
Close
good
to the main
sacrifice
MSR.
and were able to be like, hey, here's the entire enemy team.
Yeah, it looks like Seabass is getting
Seven
command,
on-
trying to get these guys
on
out
the
of here.
line
Looks like
J3,
he's taking the point.
1, 2.
Oh, is XF down?
Copy.
Yeah, XF went down first contact.
Oh, he was the first one dead in this little contact in the south?
Yeah, he's It's a big chain. There's a big link in the chain of command gone right there when your squad leader goes down at first contact, because there's a bunch of chaos that follows that immediately.
Yeah,
But it looks like his team is doing the right thing, disengaging and running away and getting
unfortunately,
into.
it looks like 4 of them are down, so that's almost
Yeah.
half a squad gone. This little skirmish.
4 traded for nothing.
Well, 4 traded for 2 because the
We've got the
British
Lodge
did lose
back
that buddy
ETA,
team.
like a minute and a half.
Oh, right.
Alright, copy that 3.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Well, the different gate. Well, it's yeah.
Yeah. So what's this? I'm going to go ahead and move over to this far south Russian team because I'm not really sure what they're doing down here. But there's this buddy team that I think saw them. Jack 0800 and Chameleon.
I think
They were sent off to go find that lodgy in the south, and the Russians blew it
The
up.
HMG on the east actually might work
And now
out
I
if we
think
can
they're about
push
to
out
rock
those
up on
rocks.
this.
I'm gonna send a
Looks
buddy
like a
team
full
out.
squad here on the
What do you
point.
think?
You can hear in the command comm Shadows
Get
sending his
HMG?
buddy team to check out the rocks, check
The
out the
HMG
area
on the east
south
actually
of
might
them.
work out if we can punch out to those rocks.
I don't think
I'm gonna send
anyone
a
has
buddy team out.
any idea of how close they are.
I don't think Russ knows they're there. There's no way. They came up in that defilade. They came up from the lower part of the hill, and there's the rocks are in the way. I don't think they knew.
Yeah,
I
there's
think Jack might
5
have heard.
Russians on this hill. Yeah, I think Jack may have heard or saw.
Hey, look at Bird
oh,
Person.
Jack,
He's just
did he throw a
standing there on
nade?
top of the hill.
Oh
That
yeah,
was a
Jack
grenade.
just threw the nade. Oh, that was a good nade by Jack.
Looks like Saturn's bleeding.
Kindnesses too.
Bird Person is coming back from the road. He's on top of the hill, like sticking his neck out right there. And he's got another fire team over here.
One of the SLs.
Yep,
That's
2, I was gonna
dangerous,
say,
especially since the
my
British
fire
get so many
team just saw
bipods. Like it's
contacts
really easy to
direct
get
south
sniped
from
now.
village. So you guys might, if you have size on it, that's where they might be coming
And
from.
Chameleon and Jack are still looking up
Copy
there.
that. It sounds like their
I don't
main
think
force is to the south of Lower
because some of not
Petrovka. They've
everyone
got
in
one
this
squad to the
element
north
has
and one
moved back.
Petrovka
Ghostly
north.
and Good seem to be standing right there. Oh, okay. Jack
Squad
goes
two, what I want
down.
you to do is
I think he got
Oh,
shot by
yeah.
Night
contact,
Ghost
I want
across
you
from
to
the other
ramp up
from
your
the
fire,
rocks to their east or the
and,
west.
try to gain fire
Yeah,
superiority.
and what's remaining of
We're gonna let,
XF's
squad one
squad
try
is
to
actually
flank.
pushing that position to try to
Okay.
see if there's more of a squad down there.
The squad that's
Hey,
on the
is
north,
Chameleon
I don't have
still
eyes on
left?
it, so I have no idea. I'm just gonna let them run past us.
Yeah,
and
he's
we're
still
gonna
in
hit
the
them from
rocks.
behind.
He's got himself
Oh.
a good position, but all it takes is a blind frag. But I think Bird Person's fire team here is pushed back to the other rocks on the other side of the forest in the
Copy that.
south.
I'm gonna put
Pretty conservative play, but
Yeah. Oh, and while that's
contact
been going
north,
on, this
east
Russian
of squad
team
4.
of Pony and I'm not sure
Copy
what
that.
the other
I'm
SL
gonna
Oh, they're in
is,
Petrovka.
pull north,
Pony
east,
and Truth,
direct
yeah,
east
they're already up
further
in
down
Petrovka.
Lodges,
They
and
have
we're
a
gonna
good
fight from
firing
there.
position up on these big rocks. Trying to find exactly the right guy to look at.
looks like they got about half a fire. They got a fire team in position to rain on this village up here. But
Yeah, and they have another fire
sounds
team
like they're
pushing
on the
on
road.
in.
India
but looks
3.
like Pain Squad and Xbit, they're
Yes.
or is it
Two,
Noble in command
east.
here? That squad.
Fighting.
May we have contact?
They're all in buildings.
H4,
Yeah, I
86,
think
at least one infantry
Expert
car
gave the
run.
commander in the command brief saying, hide in the buildings as best you can because they have mortars. They have lots of
Copy that.
mortars.
Squad 1, you're going to have to come direct to us.
Russia's
They're
smoking up
smoking it
here,
up.
but it's
Yeah,
not
this is
gonna
gonna
go
be a
well if they
quick,
push into this.
high intensity assault.
Copy switching to you.
Sinful looks like he went down.
Oh,
Best Pony's
that's a
just
loss.
laying in the middle. They're throwing
Looks like
smokes. They're
squad
trying to get out
passed us,
there.
so they can
Best Pony's by himself right now.
Pony took the spear, dripping the blood off of his gun.
Copy, we're taking.
He's trying
Oh, and
to.
a couple of Russians have gone down in this little attack.
Yeah, this is not good.
Well, and that squad that was in the middle has actually reinforced the squad up north. And there's just all this Russian smoke up, and the British are just holding them off as best they can. And
Of course, this
Nicasaur,
is, luckily, this is where the fob is, so they're attacking the right direction. They just don't know it yet.
yeah,
Watch that north flank.
yeah, and
looks
then
like half of
Nicasaur
that
up here
fire
with his
team
AR
came
is
up.
just laying hell on the Russians. Basically saying, you shall not pass. It's kind of lucky the Russians decided to attack here first.
Red, purple, white smokes going out, trying to mask a little bit of a side move from the Russian troops here, but there's really no place for them to go. This is, they had the high ground, and they gave it up, obviously, because even if you have the high ground into buildings, it's going to be difficult to, you know, effectively engage people hiding in buildings. They're popping in and out of windows.
50 meters.
Copy. Yep. I was gonna say we're gonna cross the road and we're gonna hit it from
Yeah,
behind.
so the Russians are pretty fragmented on this assault. It looks like a few of them might actually make it to the first set of buildings.
Yeah, HML
who
leading
is
the fire
this?
team to the fence. Guido
Yeah,
is in
HML
the
scout.
north.
And, yeah, Ronzi. Oh, your Heinous though, he might get him.
Took out 2 or 3.
Yeah, so the Russians have pushed up real
Alright, copy that too.
close.
Are you still engaged down
I
there? or
don't
did they
think
move
they'll be
or
able
move off?
to actually have enough momentum to take out all the British here. There's a lot of British left on this point.
They even have a squad coming in from behind. The British have a squad closing in
Oh,
from the
behind
east.
the Russians?
Oh, best
Oh,
playing
that
FX
was a
both go down at the
bad-
same time.
Oh, that was a mean nade. That was D-League. That was an
I think
excellent nade on his part.
Yeah. There's still a bunch of Russians pretty close to D-Elite, though. Guido and Sauce are up here in this little basin here, and they have an entire fire team waiting for them to pop out of it. But they're prone and crawling. Well, it looks like they're trading fire now.
Copy.
Maybe Ann Reed and then the Sea Lion attacking Sauce. Guido looks like he's been hit.
Yeah, this is a very fragmented assault by the Russians. Like, they were pretty cohesive at the very beginning, but then after the initial, like, contact with, who was that, Crispy's squad? It kind of fell apart, it seems like.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't think Russians anticipated the cloud being in this part of Tripka. I imagine they thought it was going to be on the west side. Yeah, that's where I would put it, actually, because you got a lot more building-to-building fighting, and everything's a lot more level. You don't have high ground to worry about.
I think Xbit played this very well.
Nothing too much right now.
It's very interesting how he
look at-
chose this spot.
Oh, there's another fire team up here on the other side of the highway, and
Yeah.
Vulcan's leading the fire team to flank them, and they have no idea they're there. Truth Realm.
Oh, it's Troop Realm falling around behind them?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
wow.
have a little ditch on the north side of the highway here, but Crispy's leading his element right around behind them. They're jumping over the on-ramp right now.
Yeah, and the British all know the couple of Russians up there. You can just hear the ARs and MGs just chattering away, shooting out there, and squad leads are just directing their fire, trying to make them a little bit more accurate.
Yep, looks like there's a couple of British that were firing on that position. All of the Russians go prone.
Yeah, this is exactly why the bipods are so dangerous in the game. They're so powerful. So I've seen a couple of ARs just set up on their bipod, set it up on the wall, and just be like, alright, everything over here is going to be down.
Here.
Oh, where is that?
Crispy moving out a little farther to the north here. I'm not quite sure. I think he may be thinking that this Russian element is in the field and not in that ditch area. I don't think he realizes that ditch is there.
Oh, okay. And actually, the last Russian in that little push, Scout, he just went down. Looks like he took a couple of the British with him.
So Crispy Squad are now engaging Sauce and Guido in the basin. They're shooting over Truth Realm's element. Truth Realm has gone up on the field. Now he sees everything happening. He's got a couple people. Looks like they're still moving to the west. This is kind of funny that Crispy's AR engaged, Guido and Sauce way out of their range, or not quite out of their range, but
yeah, it's kind of accidental.
Shooting over that element. I guess it was accidental. Maybe,
or maybe
Crispy
he was
doesn't
shooting
know
at
that
them.
Truth
It
Realm
looks
is
like
there.
I'm looking at the tracers, and I think he was actually shooting at them and doesn't see them in the ditch.
Oh man, the tracers are going over everything though.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing. There's nothing. Ooh, okay. There's a frag that takes out Sauce. Maybe evil dude threw that from the compound. They both go down. So that element, that little pincer element that was in the basin is gone.
That defilade to the east of the road.
Oh
That's-
wow!
we got
I just
five guys
realized.
crawling.
9.
Oh,
Oh, Merrick's got the remainder of his squad coming up. On the overpass, they get Skyline. They're being shot at immediately, it looks like.
Yeah, and down in the south here, well, that's has all been going on. The squads have been engaging down here. Looks like, who is this? Squad 2 of the British.
Oh,
So
wow,
Mr.
the Russia
Fuzi's
squad pushed in.
Yeah, and the remainder of XF squad and Bird Person squad, they're assaulting the South Village, and they managed to get a full fire team in here, but looks like only about half of them are up. And the British were able to hold them off. I heard in the command comm saying, hey, the South's getting hit hard.
Yep, there's about a squad plus down there. One fire team's moving way out to the southwest. And then one fire team seems like they're trying to catch up in the southeast along that forest line there.
Yeah, but this big field to the south is like one of the most exposed areas in the game. So it's really easy for them to go down if they push it.
That's true from that position, but if they are able to push through, they can fight from buildings onto the main point if they realize that's where the main point is and actually move out.
Right.
Also, the other thing I haven't heard is the logic truck move at all from the far west.
You good, Caesar?
Yeah, I haven't followed that at all. I didn't even look at the map to see if it's over there.
Here we go. Russians are setting up an AR or some sort of LMG fire from the overpass. Crispy's UK element is now pretty much getting ready to jump on Truth Realm, but Truth Realm is expecting something to his north, looks like. He's got 2 people looking north, maybe a third person looking north. Oh, he stands up. It looks like contact here. Crispy and Truth Realm. Truth Realm's entire element now moving out. Crispy sees it. There's going to be contact here. Crispy's letting them move past.
Come on.
He knows they're all there.
Yeah, we've got contact.
Yeah, this British element in the south, I think they've been ordered to pull out. They're working their way very carefully out of town.
This is some tremendous discipline right here. Knowing he doesn't have the firepower, Crispy's... Oh, there's a frag that's a little late. Ram is now separated, but the rest of his element keeps moving. There's another frag that's off the mark.
Alright, come there. Squad 2, if you guys can break contact...
There we go.
This has just been like
now
a
they
weird
turn
game of
around.
flank and flank and flank.
Now everyone's turned around.
Copy. They're stuck in a building with footsteps around them.
And they're pulling back because... Ooh! Sanders shooting the overpass?
Yeah, Merrick is up here with his AR. They're shooting out of the British squad.
Sanders is just shooting at trees, I think.
Oh, and this British squad in the north, Crispy squad, they've kind of become pincered here. Kind of had the tides turned against them.
I don't think the overpass Russians are shooting at them.
Oh, they were just a moment ago.
Oh, they were.
But they stopped shooting a couple of stray rounds, actually, from the Russians that are down and heavily engaged there. Came flying up and almost hit them at the overpass. There's a little bit of a confusion on what they should be aiming at.
Truth Realms group holding its own. Crispy's down, Fulham taking command.
Oh, and the overpass Russians are shooting at a couple of British crossing the road. Oh, that's mean. It's very mean of them.
You run in the open to get domed. You deserve it.
Yeah,
one of those
the
dice
Russians
rolls.
aren't shooting very well, but they are at least scaring the British. Oh, I think this one guy might go down. He looks like he got hit. Oh, wow, and in the south, these 2 squads that have kind of teamed up down here, the Russians have all breached the southern compound, in the southern town, and they're going in there in force. And there's just this one buddy team left of Tommy and Zaire 999.
How far were the southeastern contacts?
Yeah, it looks like the only other British are going to be about 150, 200 meters to their north.
Yeah, and actually the buddy team squad lead just went over command net saying there's at least a full squad down here that just breached the town. So the British know that these Russians are here in force.
Meanwhile, Truth Realm looks like his squad just took out a fire team plus up here north of the highway.
Yeah,
they're just running through the field.
Wow. Yeah, the Russians are just This is kind of a weird, like, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, this Russian fire team is now pretty isolated. There's no real support coming for them anytime soon.
Well, and the British have been pushing them off kind of hard, and I don't see very many British on the main cap itself.
They're in between.
They pushed a fire team, looks like, onto a roof. You see Pain, Shadowed, Ritual, and Raider 86 there. They're all on the same roof. They got sandbags deployed. They're anticipating Russians coming from their south, looks like.
Yeah, but are they going to put down any HMGs or anything? If the Russians, if they have sandbags,
do they have supplies?
Rifleman sandbags. Well, it looks like they got the Logi back.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't see any emplacements or a mortar. I would definitely put down a mortar at this point. Oh, Shadow's actually up here. He just called out the position of those enemies in the south.
Yes, confirm.
Well, yeah, they're moving pretty fast. They're trying to. I think they're trying
hunting
to
that
catch
buddy
up.
team.
Yep, looks like Atomic is firing on Tommy. There he goes. Caesar is on the left.
You hear that? Where are they?
Oh, and Squad 1 just calls out. There's a fire in the overpass. There's enemies over there.
This is
There goes Caesar.
From there.
Is moving towards this forest, this plane right here. It looks like he's probably gonna roll the dice and run for it, straight north into the city.
Yeah, and this Russian fire team in the north, Damien, Bag of Joe, and Sanders are the only ones left, and they're just carefully working their way out. And I'm impressed with these Russian teams. They have really held together up here in the north and have been able to inflict a lot of this 1 or 2 hits, 1 or 2 casualties, and they've just kind of been surviving.
Yep, Caesar's running it. He's crouched running. He's using all that stand.
Yeah, right there.
Clear, do not have.
Hold this, I'm guiding you in from there.
AR fire looks like it's coming out on the village.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, across
hold
that big
hold
middle
and I'm
field,
guiding you in
right?
from there. Hey, follow information. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Hold
that AR fire across the big
like-
field.
Hold
That's
fire.
just
You're gonna go right
deadly.
2 degrees and hold that. Don't
They're
fire.
trying to suppress
Right
the
for
Russians
anything
that are moving up.
He's that green
Of
building
course, the
left side of it.
Russians have concealment on top of a little thing of wood protecting them from the bullets.
We're gonna try and cover Caesar.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone use that roof before, and before V10 that would have been inaccessible. But man, that I see that is an awesome little spot. You can really just set up and just cause mayhem.
Caesar looks like he's got across the whole field.
And then the British
Yeah,
still
he's
have
running
this
the
whole
last bit of it.
squad up north on the north side of the road, just hanging out, I guess, trying to find that fire team. I'm not sure what Fulcrum's trying to do.
One, if you get an opportunity to break contact, please head back into Upper Pechivka and take up fences north and east.
Copy that. We may be pinned. The fire on the overpass has got dinged us.
Copy that. And 4.
Meanwhile, we're taking a look at these Russians up north. Looks like we're down to 2 Russians up here, north of the highway. Damien and Sanders.
Yeah, there's still a fire team sized element on the overpass. Who is this? This is
It
Merrick.
looks like Merrick.
Yeah, he's picked a really great little spot. He's got good cover over the road and on the British actual FOB location. And I just heard over the command comms, Squad 1 was ordered to fall back, and he's unsure if he's able to because of these guys on the overpass. Because there's no safe way from that forest down to the actual FOB.
Yeah, it looks like Ann Reed goes down there.
One, you
I
got
think Sanders
contacts
and Damien,
northwest of
they're
you, almost
they're
direct
trying
west.
to
My dad is,
anticipate
in
a team
contact. He's gonna try
attacking
and hook up
them.
with you.
They
Oh,
are
and
just hiding
Merrick
behind this
opens up
tree.
and is pinned down a big chunk of Squad 1. Ooh, that's mean. Pretty impressive shot that he can see from that far away. Yeah, the British are way out there.
Did you lose one of your
And it's
blueberries straight
very
southwest?
hard to see. I bet they have an SL up there.
Yeah, they're taking
Not
contact
sure
on.
though.
They're northwest. You're west.
Yeah, we're
Man, it's
pinned
always the
down
worst
by
to be
that
on the
overpass
receiving
fire.
end of
We're
an
gonna
AR
try to
like
fall
this.
to him, but contact from southwest, right?
Fulcrum looks like they've been ordered to try to disengage as best they can, but they're still scared of Merrick up there on the overpass.
Yeah, and Fulcrum is very worried about getting his squad all in the open
Alright,
and
well,
just
take
let
a
the
slow
machine
crawl
gunner
if you
have
need
his
to.
day. But
They're
Merrick and
continuing
his
the
buddy
push
here
over
are actually moving off.
It looks like they're spraying right now. They're trying to put some suppression on the horizon.
Just hold your position.
Yeah, and that last round of suppression might have hit a helicopter. I don't think it's going to hit these guys on this overpass.
East of Upper
It is
Petrovka.
for frustration spam.
Yeah, it looks like there's only 4 Russians in the overpass, and they're pulling off to the south side. And I think they're going to reset up on these rocks that worked so well with the Russians before.
Meanwhile, looks like this AR to the south of Petrivka is opening up on some Russians. I see 2 people down. There's a fire team peeling off to the east. They crossed the road.
Contacts, South Command.
What was that?
Yeah, and the command comms light up saying contacts at oh man, that's a good position for the AR.
He's got sandbags, he's got his bipod deployed.
Window
Yeah, he's great until he runs out of ammo. And then as soon as he runs out of ammo.
Look at
oh
this.
My gosh.
Look at this spacing. Look at that.
That's
is
a
like
fail.
that's a car. That's a car length. Come on, guys. Spacing.
And I think Merrick and his buddy in his fire team were actually moving in position with Overwatch on that AR. So I think they might actually be able to try to take out that AR from the east side here.
There's like a fire team plus. Looks like they're defending this village for some reason. But look at I'm triggered. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this shot that he had to make. We're gonna zoom in. We're gonna zoom into where that AR came from. Hold on a sec.
Yeah, and it's overpass.
We're gonna zoom in from the. Look at that. Look at that guy. Shadowed Ritual. He's got the binocs. Look at that guy. Raider 86. He's got LMG. Look at this.
Oh man.
Straight shot.
All right, hold it.
Like all shadowed. Look at him. He's spamming it.
Yeah, right there. Russian fire on the overpass. They're up on this hill. They have a beautiful shot to a little bump here. He has this beautiful shot on that AR gunner. Like, if anyone in this fire team would just look at that hill and take out those 2 guys. Oh, little bump's opening fire on the AR. Might be able to let his team move in. Oh, nope. He's actually not engaging them. He's engaging some of the other British closer by.
And AR's opening up still. Looks like he sees some people.
Yeah,
There's
it looks
a
like
couple squad leads over here.
Yeah, Revy Beast.
Oh, this is not good.
Yeah, and if they had played that a little better, they would have been able to take out Shadowed and his MG there and let the rest of the team move up.
Oh,
Left, there's one still there. Strong left. Yeah. Hold fire. Close.
Man, this is rough.
They shot. Looks like the LMG got hit. And they're both down.
Oh no.
The LMG got wounded. Or when they went prone, they're still up there. But...
Oh man, let's get a medic down there, get them full health.
We got ammo points, or we got build points. We're gonna go find another place.
Looks like they're gonna retreat from the rooftop there after getting hit.
So
looks like this actually worked out.
No, you've dropped at least
shooting.
4. You've dropped at least 4, I swear. Woo! Come in. We're
Ooh, there's still third person still sees them.
Fire team to our
I
south.
think that went down in this
We're
exchange on the east.
Positions compromised. We got build points to get at least in one more OP.
Nope, he's still
wow.
More defense thing.
Are they British pulling off?
Yeah, we're going over
Russian East team has come all the way around.
Oh yeah.
Remember the guys?
That's what I was saying.
The guys.
Yeah, they were sitting
the west,
up on
actually.
these rocks for the longest time, looking at Shadowed and his MG, and they just weren't shooting him. It's like, guys, just open up and shoot the MG. It'll help the whole rest of your guys and save a couple of them. That's a shame.
I think Sanders and Bag of Joe. I think Bag of Joe ran all the way around the Western Forest and came all the way through Western Petrivka and came up here specifically because it looks like they've got another friendly down. Because there was only 2 of them up here before. The fire team was isolated, and it looks like they had some help came up, and maybe spacing caused them to be noticed a lot more. Oh, there's a big fight over here in the east.
Yeah, the British AR, I think it's Nick Sword over there, just opening up and saying, nobody in this field is allowed to pass. These couple of Russians just have almost no cover. They're just heading down this tiny little crevasse.
Oh,
Yeah,
here comes the smokes. This is going to help again.
Yeah, but you have to pick your time just right with this. Be like, oh, when do I move? Do I move now? Do I wait? Oh, the MG's still shooting. Do I wait some more? And now's the time to go. The MG stopped. Move. Run away.
Meanwhile, Bird Person has his squad pushing up the southern road, coming up to this junction right here.
Oh, and Payne 12B of the British, he just pushed in on those rocks where the Russian smoke is. And I think he's going to try to throw a nade on these 4 Russians. Like, right now, they can give each other a hug. If you guys can give each other a hug, you're too close. Move apart.
What is that doing? What is he doing? He's a squad leader, for crying out loud.
Who, Payne?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing, but he's pushed up.
Leading?
I think he was and inherited the role.
Wow.
Oh, and he goes down. He should have thrown a nade. He would have gotten 4 of them. They were all so close together.
I don't know what he's thinking. It may be one of those things where you've been in contact for so long, there must be like, you start thinking to yourself, there must be like 5 people left. There must be like 3 people over here. There's surely not like a fire team squad. You've been in contact for so long now. Lots of fire coming out here from Bird Person's squad. He's got an AR open up.
Yeah, and Shadow's trading
Bird Person goes
shots
down.
around. Oh no! Yeah, Shadow did his MG though. Missed Raiders 86. Gets pissed off the Russians so much that his lat comes flying out. Oh man, this MG, he is doing
Shadow and his AR, Raider 86, still doing work. They've gone back to the wall over here, and they're still shutting down this Russian advance. But Russia's pushing through. Saturn's in the
Raider
open.
86 is going to look at the scoreboard and be like, I killed how many?
I think he's going to be surprised.
You sure there's no one over here watching?
This just shows the power of having the squad lead with optics, just kind of sit back and help guide in that AR fire, just how powerful that can be. Like, can you imagine having to run up this road into this guy with Shadow helping guide his fire?
Yeah, and he's got so many better positions. They're stuck behind the shed. But he's got another fire team on his right across the road. Maybe they're going to go building to building, because the Russians are still up there on the rocks to the southeast of where the town is, where the objective is. Now we're going to start seeing building to building clearing. We're going to see someone come around a corner, someone get shot through a window. Looks like they're trying. Ooh!
He just nailed someone.
Raider 86
yeah, he did.
Nails Goose. He was just looking. Saturn knows he can't go out there anymore.
Man, Raider is just, he's killing it tonight. The British on the east side of town, there's only a buddy team left, and these Russians
Someone went down. Looks like Raider maybe went down.
Oh no!
Yep, Raider
Shadow's
down.
best friend. Oh,
Here's
Raider
Ghostly.
down.
Looks like they're moving through. There still seems to be some communication in this Russian squad, because Ghostly put his rocket away. He was loading for frag, and it looked like he was going to shoot that position, but I think Grubbs, Vindication, Seabass, those 3 guys over there were able to get the shot on him. Saturn moves through. They're going building to building. Looks like they're finding a fence. They're going to shoot through the cracks in this fence right here. Peach is set up on looking at where the fob area is, but they're getting...
Yeah, but they have those Russian guys in the last bag of the last remnant troop squad. It looks like Expert Commander is taking a few shots and might go down there. Oh, and one more British goes down.
Yeah, it looks like Bag of Joe and Sanders able to rejoin the fight.
One more, Silent, one more.
May have
Yeah,
gotten
they've
one
had
British-
quite the
British
hell
guy
of a
in that
game.
compound. Oh, the rocket.
Oh my. Almost takes them out.
I think it was just aiming for a wall. Must have been ghostly up here.
This battle's been really weird. There's kind of constantly been
Sanders.
one like
Bag of Joe takes
small
out
chunk
CPS
of
through the
people
window.
behind everyone else.
No idea. Yeah, Yellow House, I think, 199.
Bag of Joe is using this little half broken wall, and he's got the British right where he wants them.
Oh yeah, that is a mean spot. Really hard to see if anyone's there.
Plus, you got a completely broken wall over here.
Moving in from the south.
And then the British have. Oh,
Uncle Fucker, Evil Dude 500 are totally behind Saturn's call and his fire team right here. They're moving building to building in that direction.
Oh, they might be able to clear out the rest of Bird's squad here. If they play it right.
They're gonna walk around on. I think Evil Dude knows. I think Evil Dude knows what's going on. Here we go.
Well, that's been going on in the east here. The Russian fire team that's sitting comfortably up in the rocks have actually breached the east side of town. They're pushing their way in towards the fob
looks
radio.
like he hit one. He dropped one up there on the western wall. He got both of them. Looks like they're both down over there. Bag of Joe and
he was right at Yellow
Sanders.
House. Like,
Yeah, they
fucking
both went
50
down.
meters
The British takes out. But Expert better look to his east. Expert and Shadow look
Evil
east.
Dude,
There's
pistol
this
kill.
whole fire team pushing up.
Rocket kill. He's shooting through a wall. Kilo is looking at him. He's going to catch him reloading. He's running around. Nothing. Uncle Fucker's still inside the building. Sees Kilo run away. He knows he's alone now. Looks like some stray British bullets coming in.
Yeah, those are coming from the fob radio itself. I think that's one of the SLs remaining. Just trying to engage.
They're like 184-ish. They're running up along that wall.
This is pretty close right now. I'm counting 7 Russians.
Oh, Expert's about to see his 2 pair of Russians come right in his door. Oh, he tips at one of them. Oh, at least hits him.
Fucker is moving. He's got himself a line. He's coming back through where his teammate went down. And if he just looks through the fence, he sees one.
Oh, Expert goes down.
Here goes the frag. It's too short.
I got one of them.
But it takes one out through the fence. Uncle Fucker gets hit.
Oh,
the
man.
The other two over here come for cover. Fucker is bandaging. Got him, boy. And
yeah, so
Ghost
Shadowed
Silence
has been holding off the radio here with Silent. So Shadowed and Silent are the last 2 British in the radio
Fucker
room
jumps.
proper.
I'm super low.
Uh-oh.
Oh! We still got...
Yeah, so Shadowed and Silent. Oh, Rocket goes out, takes out Shadowed. There's only 1 British person left on the fob radio. I count, what, is that 4 Russians remaining? I think
Yeah,
it's
there
4
might be
Russians
one
against
British,
1.
2.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks like-
Silent, time to take out your Terminator face and just murder them. I have faith in you, man.
All right. Uncle Fucker goes down. Looks like he ran out of ammo in his clip and was reloading. Got caught reloading. Guy came around the corner and shot him in the face. Ghostly gets a kill. Ghostly and Saturn moving across the road here. They're going to try to reconsolidate with Jive. I bet you they're in local right now. T-Grubs, here we go. You got Silent in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen here. We've got Grubs, Jive, Ghostly, and Saturn's Call in Russia. They're on the southern side of this street here. They all got buildings. Grubs is moving up to the street. Saturn's got his team pushing through. Jive is just standing there. And Silent's position is outside the fob radio building itself, which is kind of interesting. If they just throw a grenade over the wall, he's done for.
Oh, I
But
know.
everyone's just standing here right now. Mexican standoff, except for they don't know where each other are.
Are they all
silent
out of
moving
ammo?
around.
Someone did tell me there was someone in that log building, so I would assume.
He's about to fire.
There's no one in there.
You sure?
I mean, I can see. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh!
Holy shit!
Oh!
There,
That's
how did he not see me?
mean.
Oh my god!
And that's GG.
That is a mean lat that came out. GG with a lat. Haven't seen that in a while. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming out and joining us for a fun event. And we have one more round. We're going to take a couple-minute break, let the commands kind of reset the server, figure out their plans, and we'll be back to you in just a few minutes. So stay tuned.
Hold up, roadblock ahead. Shrek and Matt, we're going to clear it.
All right, gents, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today. It's Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we're suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of that is to keep their heads down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. All right, and during this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically within each, either whether it be buddy team or fire team, is there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, down. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Alright, Bravo set. Alpha up. He sees me. I'm down. You're now in what is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. Those are your basic formations that we utilize in squad operations. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course was created to ensure Squad Ops participants share the same knowledge and understanding of the use and applications of mission-specific weapons and the basic tactics involved in their deployment. The Automatic Rifleman. The Automatic Rifleman is the foundation of a fire team and/or squad. The job of the Automatic Rifleman is to deliver a high volume of prolonged, effective suppressing fire on enemy positions to allow the maneuver of friendly units during offensive operations and the repelling of enemy attacks in defensive operations. The Grenadier, a key member of the fire team and squad. The Grenadier is first and foremost a rifleman who is capable of delivering accurate fire of both high explosive and smoke rounds on point and area targets at varying distances. One of the other added benefits of the Grenadier is to engage dead space, which is essentially an area that cannot be hit by direct fires. The Light Anti-Tank Gunner. Soldiers carrying light anti-tank weapons are, just as Grenadiers, riflemen first. They are the ideal infantry-based counter to both lightly armored and thin-skinned vehicles. At short, medium, and far distances, the rockets fired are a viable weapon against groups of infantry as well. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course, although not a requirement, is highly encouraged for Squad Ops participants to join to expand their knowledge of how to utilize the tools that are given to us within Squad.
Hello and welcome everyone to Squad Ops Wednesday event. We're playing Operation Green Acres.
Don't have to come over to me. Just
Tonight's event is a one life event, as I normally
make sure
do.
You're somewhere where you
And
can
we
hear me.
are currently playing with the British versus the Russians.
What exactly am I being
we'll
tasked
go and
with?
pull up
So I
the
wanna figure out
Operation
how I
doc
set my
for
character
kind of walk
rounds.
through it here for a little bit.
So Pony, you're going to run down to the red fob mark.
So the situation
and you're
here is
going to
the
be our
British
promoting element.
have airdropped into the area of
You can
Yeho,
look for mortars
and they're
as well.
been ordered to hold the town of Petrivka. And they have supplies set up in the various locations marked in green. And basically, his trucks are out there in case the British want to send a squad out to go collect them and to build up a better fob in Petrivka. The Russians can start in any of the four marked squares, and they get a mortar fob that they can set up at that square to help in their advance on Petrivka and try to take out the British.
Be aware that the entire enemy team could
This is
spawn
kind
there.
of a very interesting one.
If they do,
And it'll be kind of interesting to see how the Russians and British kind of take round two, as after being on the attacking or defending sides last round. bcarr, do you have any thoughts on how the last round went?
Last round was interesting. I am sort of disappointed in the UK battle plan, and with further north than where the fob radio was. There, the southern elements did a pretty good job. They fell back. They took contact and they fell back. It looked like they did that all the way back to the village up there in northwest Petrivka. The problem was that once the Russians got organized that round, they just had a little bit more firepower than what the British were putting towards the southern defense, and they let themselves pretty much walked over.
Yeah, the British kind of they kind of got walked over, and then they were just so holed up in the houses that the Russians were able to kind of take them out one at a time from a distance. Even though they did some really entertaining AR and MG play, it kind of didn't work out for them in the end.
I mean, remember in the beginning operation that worked out pretty well, because I don't think the Russian initial push was with the thinking of, oh, hey, the fob radio is going to be in this compound, guys. I don't think they realized they were pushing on the objective when they made that initial push. Yeah, they kind of
stumbled upon it, only because the British were all set up there in force.
Exactly, and the British had plenty of people in position, and they were cutting down squad leads and half the fire teams. And then there was this whole rigmarole north of the highway and the overpass. But it
yeah,
ended
there's a
up
lot of
that-
like mixture of the squads. It's kind of it was a really funky game, really entertaining to watch, but really funky.
It was just sort of like continuously. There's a lot of action going on outside of the Bane area, and that's really the movement and the mobility, lack of mobility rather, because there's no armored or transport elements for Russia, for British. So there's a lot of basically people running, and there was a lot. There were a few times where Russians were able to sneak up on the British positions, and the British were just pushing through, not a care in the world.
Yeah, it was really kind of a weird defense. Like those kind of far out squads did a lot of damage, but they also kind of got really too engaged, so that when they had that push from the south, the guys in the north kind of got totally decimated.
Yeah. The that north, the whole north thing, just confused me. Just confused me really difficult. It was just too much emphasis put up there. They kept a squad out of the defense zone, so there was less players on the point for the UK, and Russians were able to poke and prod, and finally able to get into fighting building to building, which is what they wanted.
Yeah, and the British kind of, with that northern push, it really got a lot of people pulled off.
Not to mention they were constantly losing people to like a fire team that was just prone in position.
Yeah, that was
or
really
the
well
AR
played.
team that was on the
Oh yeah, the
overpass.
AR team on the overpass. That was murdersome to be up
I
there.
mean, that was 4 people against a squad and a half, and the UK forces took like 50% casualties from that. And all the Russians did was throw half a fire team up there. In the grand scheme of things, or they threw a whole fire team up there actually.
Yeah, most of the Russian team was up there, and I think Xbit may have thought that more of them were there when he pushed the squad north, but it really was only about like a squad worth of players.
And I get that because it's high ground, and high ground means a lot in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you're assaulting a fixed position, you got to have the high ground. There was a time when I was commanding a firefight, and you can say I got lucky on the roll because it was a randomized start location. It was a randomized start position, but my entire plan revolved around the high ground of the hill out there on what's that?
That was on Narva, right?
Yeah, it was on Narva. It was on that island atoll thing outside the southeast of Narva. And we were assaulting this farm, basically. The first person to get there got a logi and was able to set up a fob for defense. And my entire plan, both times, revolved around getting to the high ground, assaulting the building with force, but always keeping the high ground first. Or at least simultaneously taking the building and the high ground. But the high ground saved my team both times. Also, for some reason, the opposing team decided to push across the river in the wide open and let half the team die. But that's another thing. It's decisions that you make in the with not the perfect information. And
yeah,
you just have
as
to
a
roll with it.
commander, it's
Sometimes
really
it's
hard to
novel.
always say what the right decision is and how do we approach a different problem. Actually, the Russians, though, have set up in a different spot than I thought. They're set up in Novo. It's an interesting starting location.
Oh, they're set up in H9, huh?
Yeah, and H9, those mortars might actually come into play this game. I think it's just within range.
Maybe.
The south end of town definitely is.
Yeah, the UK, on the other hand, have set up in Western Petrivka. Grid reference for all you people out there. Looks like it's going to be F5-9, F5
yeah,
area.
or most players will know that as the central Petrivka flag, even though it's not really in the middle of Petrivka.
Well, those farms count over there, but it's whatever.
Yeah,
there's a
true.
shopping center nearby. It's central.
Alright, I'm back.
Or whatever whatever this building is, the IKA, the IKA, It's the
Yeah, with
Ika
the,
where you do your
lurker
shopping.
oil out
Look, there's
front.
gas there too. It's look at it. This
Yeah,
is
the
your
gas
one
is
stop.
cheap.
It's your one stop. It's your one stop. Shopping location. You've got your supermarket. You got your gasoline. You got your shed for your hardware out here.
Well, and
it's
look
a
at this
one-stop
gas
shop.
prices. It's $1.40 a liter. That's amazing.
I guess it is. Yeah, you're right. Because what? There's like 2.4 liters in a gallon. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
So, $1.40. What was it? $1.20
in
a
the chat
liter?
will yell at me. It's $1.40.
It's like $3 a gallon.
Actually, Storm,
Well, think about.
we're gonna have 4 and 3 up at the top and the bottom of me. I'm gonna get.
Well, think about it this way. I mean, how much taxes have gone into building this? I bet you probably I bet you half the tax from that gasoline probably went into building glorious government-owned food distribution points and gasoline distribution points like this, probably.
Yeah.
4 and 3.
And I'm just listening to the also at the command comms, and the command comms to the British, pretty much, they're doing a distributed brief, so the SLs are just briefing their guys individually. So we'll kind of be in a mystery to see what everyone's plan is here.
Because if you guys are like,
It looks like everyone's spread out. They might have a couple fire teams. There's a couple fire teams that are separate from everyone else. Looks like Saloon and Vindication over here by themselves. I wonder if they're going to make a run for the Juliet 4 and 9 Logi. And then we have
and then Goose
looks like Mr. Sauce and Merrick.
Yeah, and then Goose and Saturn's Call, and I think they're going for all 3 Logis at once. They might actually not run into the Russians doing that, because the Russians are kind of coming in the one direction the Logis really aren't set up.
actually, I'll send my guys since my guy's gonna be over there.
I think Juliet 7 is going to be the roll the dice thing. I mean, if they're coming from Hotel 9 from the south, maybe Petrivka, maybe the UK are going to have a considerable number of resources to play with here in this defense.
Okay.
Yeah, let's check the numbers on that real quick, actually.
Yeah, 1:44 is the live time, so we should be live here in about 40 seconds. And we'll get this game on the road.
Yeah, let's see here. I'm looking up the number of how much supplies are going to be in this are in these lodges here.
Yeah,
looks
so
like it could be as much as
a variable amount, right?
Yeah, so 2 of the lodges have 300 build, 300 ammo, and 1 lodge has 500 build, 500 ammo. According to the operation document we're looking at here, it looks like they could be in any of the 3 locations. Yeah, randomly load. So there could be as much as 800 build, 800 ammo for British to play around with here.
Yeah, and one thing I didn't go over when I talked about the operation doc is the British can put down, assuming they get the supplies and they get the time to set it up, they can put down up to 1 or 2 HMG tripods, a mortar, and then finally a tow missile, which will just be absolutely devastating if they can get that going. And now we're live.
Looks like
moment of truth.
Looks like one of the fire teams I thought was going to go out is not. American Sauce are running out there though.
Yeah, they're
there's
going for it.
Looks like Best Pony has the majority of his element running south out of town here.
You know, these 2 in the north, Mac and Sadist, they're just setting up on the roof of this building. I don't even know. Oh, yeah, you can climb up the stairs. I was about to say, I don't know how they got up there, and then I remember there's stairs to the top of this building. If I was the commander, I would actually probably set up on this, the building with the letters, the LKR building, the Lurker building. Because there's a kind of a pretty good view for binocs from here.
Let's take a look and see what Best Pony's running into here. If we zoom out here. Russians are, looks like they're fairly split up, even though they are coming from that bottom direction there.
Yeah, the British have, Best Pony is going to run right into them again. Very first contact of the game.
This is a fairly straightforward push by the Russians, though.
Yeah, it looks pretty consolidated, pretty hold everyone together. I think they're going to have Squad 1 stay back and put those mortars up and actually use them this round.
Looks like Jive has a fire team pushing straight for Husey and his squad right here. Maybe Best Pony is pushed off with a fire team of his own over there. But, they're getting within about 100, 150 meters of each other here.
Yeah,
Husey
Best
leading the
Pony
charge
has
here,
his
squad
fire
lead.
team way in the open. Like, this could be pretty
Are
bloody.
they crossing the... Oh, my gosh. We got Husey right here, and he's got to the bridge.
He's going to run right into them, isn't he?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to... I wonder if they're going to try to go, like, underneath this... I don't think they can... Can they crawl under there? Oh, yeah. They can just... oh, no. They're going to have contact here. I bet you Bump sees them. They're going to be seeing each other real soon. There's a bunch of foliage.
Oh, yep, they see it.
Commandus is full.
Yeah, Little Bump and company, they
that's some
hear
stuff.
the Russians and see them, and they're like, we're getting out. We're leaving now.
Oh, look at this. They're on defilade to each other. It looks like there's this little hill berm thing right here.
Yeah, and Boney's
Jive,
guys saw
I think
them,
Jive
but I
sees
don't
someone.
think the Russians did.
No, he doesn't. Jive is moving. The Russians are completely blind. Half the team,
They're gonna hide in bushes,
half the
ambush,
team
or let them pass, depending on what
is
they do.
pushing down this ditch right now.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
This is
Look at that.
bad 360 security. Bad 360
Jive
security.
is either a genius or completely oblivious to the fact that more than half of the Russian team is moving to within 50 meters of him.
Oh
Keep
no, they
pushing
know.
through.
Tony called it out and is relaying it back up to command.
This is some good trigger discipline here.
Yeah, this is where the point where if I was the commander, I would just tell them, pull out your knives. If they're within the range
Look
that
at
you
that.
need a knife, that's as close as you need to use a gun anyway. Because right
Just
now,
look
if
at
they
that.
reveal themselves, they could
There's
really
at
mess
least
themselves
20
up.
people moving through.
A lot of you guys are requesting to use the truck to maneuver and take a second truck since that one only has 300.
Negative is not allowed.
Oh, copy. Understood.
Man, this Russian or this British squad may end up behind all of the Russian troops.
You want them heading to you specifically?
And I don't know
That'd be
what
interesting.
Pony's going to end up doing. Like, I don't know if Storm's going to send him to go hunt the mortars, or if he's going to just follow him behind the Russians.
These are pretty good files, though, by the Russians, I gotta say.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful file.
It's
a great
absolute beautiful
formation.
organization. Look at this. They're on the ditch and everything.
Yeah, open. They're spreading out and splitting out by squad.
Yeah,
And
who's just
Jive,
commanding
oh,
Russia
here
right now?
comes the true discipline from the British. Like Little Bump and Jive, they are all in the open to the north of the British guys here.
All
And
it
they could
takes is
just
a
open
Russian
up.
looking north.
One misclick by the British, though, and they lose this whole squad.
Oh, look at
This is-
command is right at the end of this formation.
Oh, no, is that Expert all on
This
his
is
own?
Expert all alone. He's screaming by the fact that no one's with him. Look at it. He's got binocs. He's trying to be in these trees right now, but all it takes is one of those. Like if Jive
Yeah.
sees him, Jive's gonna shoot, no questions asked, right?
Ponies, commandos here, they could just sneak up with a knife and take out the Russian command. That would
Yeah.
be the most hilarious thing I've ever seen.
Oh
in an op.
man.
We'll they're setting security. We'll update as they keep moving.
Expert's turned around
It
actually.
looks like headed towards the farm, G684, and then they'll probably be headed into.
I don't know if you heard something or saw something. Lawn Darts has a squad probably within about 100 meters of Jive's element here.
Yes.
And then Crispy
And then
Squad is
everyone else
pulling
is in a ditch.
360, but they're not really looking in the right direction. There's a couple of people looking not in the direction of this fire team.
Those guys.
Oh,
Looks
and
like-
Stormfront comes out on the comms and just says, "Shadow the Russian platoon."
But, have your fire team shadow those guys.
Expert
Yeah,
is
it's gonna be
looking
interesting.
behind him at this point.
Oh, is he looking for someone? Did they possibly see one of the British?
I don't know if he's hiding or if he's looking. He's got his binocs out.
Oh, Little
He's
Bump
looking
just
around.
saw a whole ton of the Russians, and he's calling them out. He's freaking out, being like, "Oh God,
He's got
there's so many,
binocs.
there's
He's
so
looking
many."
around.
Yeah, crawled.
Expert is looking around behind him. He
He
thinks
went
he's
prone.
getting shadowed right now.
Yeah, I see him. He's looking the other direction. That's the thing.
I've noticed Expert sometimes
direction,
does that.
Bolt?
He just kind of looks behind him and looks
You're going
away
top.
when he's kind of planning.
We got Mags. Mags back here. He's part of Lil Bump and Jive Gorilla's little group here.
I
He's
think
crawling
Mags
towards.
is going to go for it. Like, I would be so tempted to just keep crawling with my knife out.
I think at this point they're sort of the order has trickled down to the fire team lead that Jive is probably is right now, and they're being told to move up a little bit but stay prone. Meanwhile, Xbit is orchestrating his 3-squad push 400 meters across almost open fields to the objective area. He's queuing it up in his mind right now. He's trying to figure, okay, here's how this is going to work. Everyone's going to move at the same time. He's probably
he's
talking
starting
on
to
commands,
send
right?
his scout element forward. A couple of buddy teams moving up to kind of probe it out.
Meanwhile, it looks like there's plenty of UK forces on, they're moving around. I see Best Pony's squad, or I see pictures of Best Pony's squad way off in the distance. I think
Best
they're
Pony
looking
squad
for
is just
mortars.
shadowing the Russian. No, Best Pony's just shadowing the Russians right now. That's Little Bump and Jive and all of them. They're all part of
Well, I
Pony's
mean,
squad.
Best Pony squad is still, or Best Pony himself with his fire team is about 200 meters to the south still.
Oh,
I think they're
see.
hunting
Yeah,
mortars.
he's down in town. I think he's hunting the mortars.
Yeah, I have eyes on another one.
That's a lot of resources on a gamble. Mags
Yeah,
is
it is.
within about 30-40 meters of Xbit right now, and you can see he can almost.
Yeah, and the British have made it back with one of the lodges, but two of them they're leaving out there. The Juliet 7 one is more or less lost. The Juliet 4 one they could have contested that if they'd decided to push for it. I think Storm is playing very conservatively this game.
Oh, there's a
couple
shot.
contact.
Call it out.
There's a buddy team on the south side here. Who is this? It's Crispy and Fulcrum are the first ones to make contact on the Russians, and they get called back by the British.
Oh yeah.
What's
Look at that! Look at that! They've got it completely covered.
Nothing at the moment.
And as soon as that shot came out, every single British shoulder just said, "We're looking south."
That's a squad lead right up on the front there. That's got to be a lot of information for the Russians, and I bet you they're going to start angling their attack right now.
And that's also really risky because the squad lead goes down, unit cohesion starts to get lost. Oh, and Xbit is moving the squad that's protecting him up. I think this fire team in the south might be able to get him.
Yeah, it looks like they're moving close.
Go ahead and pull
Still about maybe about 30-40 meters out.
Copy. So don't continue to sweep for mortars.
Lil Bump is probably going to be able to see him first if he keeps moving through the foliage. Another rifle shot. Looks like some penetration testing going on over there. Long dart
Russian
squad.
mortars go active.
Oh,
And Pony heard that, and he's going to go hunt them down with a vendetta.
let's see if we can find where these mortars are going to hit.
I think Little Bump is going to see Xbit here. Okay, we have no idea where these mortars are going to land until the first one lands.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was some good mortaring. It's Crispy. Excellent
All around
call
that
on where to
building.
aim.
All around that building. The spread really worked in their favor there. But that was a good shot for the mortars. Meanwhile, Xbit
Oh, and the British
in some trouble.
MG is starting to open up on this squad pushing up. It's the rest of Crispy squad is moving up in the field, and one of them, I don't think any of them have been hit yet. It looks like the British are kind of repeating what they did last game.
Oh, I think Bump is almost cleared all the foliage here.
Pushing out into the field just south of the road.
we're gonna keep them lightly suppressed here.
At this point, as command, I mean, Expert is just in pure tactics mode. He's in pure strategy mode right now. He's not playing a first-person shooter. Oh, look at this. They're pushing out. They don't see him. Mags and Little Bump, they're just pushing straight through.
Oh, man.
They don't see him. They see nothing.
Get it.
Little Bump may have looked at this direction. Nope.
No, look at Expert.
They're pushing past.
Look at him. Oh, no.
Jive is still way behind them. Expert hears
Expert
him.
heard. No.
He heard something, but he missed him. Now he's moving out.
Oh, Little Bump, you
Little
lost
Bump
the opportunity
ruined
there.
it.
Oh, no. That would have been hilarious.
Little Bump, little screw up. Oh, no. Oh, Jive is in the open. He's not looking in this direction. He could have seen Expert there for a second.
The Russian or the British squad, the rest of the Pony squad have found the mortar fob and are pushing up on it now. And I think it's manned by only a single player. Yeah, I think there's only one person down here on the mortar fob, and he has no idea. There's a
It
squad
looks like
of
there's
4 of
two.
them.
Looks like there's 2 Russians. There's one guy prone in the ground and one guy actually in the mortar. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, my outlines didn't have everything set up. So there's actually 2 Russians here, as bcarr was saying. That Pony's just crawling up in the field. He's going to get control of these mortars.
Oh.
If you just tap, don't make as much noise.
True.
I don't know what Halibrad's doing here, but Silent's still on the mortar. Guido and Best Pony are crawling through the field.
Oh, that's going to be quite
FX
plain.
and Sinful on base of fire, looks like. But yeah, looks like 2 mortars. Oh, here we go. Best Pony. He knows what's going on. He sees the radio. He sees Silence back. Now, if Halibrad turns around and moves back to the mortar...
Is Pony going to go in there with his
Oh,
knife?
no. I think Halibrad's looking in this direction. Oh, no. Halibrad's looking...
Is he looking but not seeing?
Mortar is right there.
Alpha just calls out the mortars. You hear me, local? Oh, here we go. Halibrad might have seen him. Best Pony and Alpha moving in to Silent. I don't know if he's going for the knife or not, but oh, Best Pony, yeah, he's going for the knife. Look at this. Look at this insanity. Look at this. Oh my God! Halibrad is still oblivious. They see him.
Oh no!
They see Halibrad. They move it into the trees.
Did he get it? Oh, and
got
the
the
Rex
knife.
mortar comes out, hits the south end of town again.
Halibrad and Progrito push through. I don't know. They think they saw Halibrad, but
Yeah, he's down. Alpha knifed him. He's gone.
FX and Simple still anchor. Uh-oh, this is not good. If Halibrad tags Pony here, that's a lot of communication loss for Guido and FX. Oh, looks like FX and Simple saw Halibrad.
And up here at the actual town of Petrivka, the Russians have taken control of the lower Petrivka flag and the upper Petrivka flag, have engaged this British squad in the big ravine
He's
ditch.
crawling right towards Pony.
And they're
Pony's looking
starting to engage at the British are just trying to hold this ditch as best as they can.
I'm gonna move my guys back a little bit, set up a line.
And XF has lost, looks like 2 of his guys holding this ditch, and the Russians also control this farm in the south end. It's kind of hard to find a good spot to give a good overview here. But with the loss of those mortars, the Russians are pretty in a tight spot. There's not a good way to clear it in.
Anyone got mortars? Targets with
Now-
mortars? We cleared out the mortar pit. It was a buddy team on it.
Now it's all up to what can Best Pony do with these mortars here?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because that's always whenever static positions get thrown down and they have these fobs and they have these mortars, it just seems that a lot of the time mortars get commandeered to great effect, and it could totally destroy Russia's push onto the point here.
Yeah, especially if they get called in just right. I'm not sure what the British did with that Logi truck. I'm trying to look around to see if they built up any defenses, really.
G535 today?
G535.
Yeah, they built up a few defenses in the center of town here, but it's just clattering of sandbags. There's no real, like, heavy machine guns or anything.
Looks like Command just told Best Pony to go ahead and use some mortars, gave him a range of grids. And G5.
This will be entertaining.
Yeah, G5 2 and 3 or something like that, all the way over a couple of grids to the east here. This could be interesting.
That's the farm on the south end of town.
Yep,
I
it
think
could be interesting. Depends on how Best Pony decides to, how he decides to spread these out. Because that's what Storm likes to do. Storm likes to give you, he wants to give you a start point and an end point, and you get to connect the lines however you want. And sometimes you had enough resources to spend about 3 rounds on, a subgrid until you get over there.
Well, and Pony's on a timer since there's no more Russians left there. He has to really shoot them up quick before the radio just disappears from the proximity.
Here comes mortars.
And the rest of Squad 1, that mortar squad, is pushing it on the northeastern side of Petrivka now.
That should hurry him up.
It's friendly.
Brace for impact.
Oh, it's heading right into the middle of the farm. Oh, those are beautiful shots. I don't think it actually gets anyone, but it definitely freaks the Russians out. And a couple of them are actually pulling back south. And only the houses would explode when they get hit like that.
Keep it 360, guys.
I don't
The
know
Russians
if any more
in
mortars
the
are coming.
big eastern ditch here are starting to engage again and get hit by Merrick and his buddy here. American Sadist.
They got a couple of sandbags here.
100
for
meters
support.
east to me. 100 meters east to me.
Yeah, I think against this pushing in force.
Southeast. Southeast. We got a whole squad suppressed in
all the points might have been using the sandbags, and it's kind of interesting not to use the heavy gunnery. The British actually kind of had the. Yeah, it is kind of a little too limited. There isn't very many points to build anything.
Swiftly, Andrew goes down. Looks like plenty of bullets firing in.
Oh, and a lag comes out. Yeah. It's always terrifying when you hear that rocket.
They're really heavily suppressed.
No, don't hit me. Don't hit me.
Mortars are coming in.
Sadis is
it's all good. It's all good.
Laser beaming through this forest right here.
Yeah, and I think, does he have his bipod out?
You guys going to start moving, or are you going to be mortar bait here pretty soon?
Oh, the mortar!
That was a good mortar. That just hits a lot of the Russians.
The mortar hits within 15
and that includes
meters of
X-Men in the
units.
command. There's 3 SLs right in that impact zone. And I think they're all going to go down here.
If those mortars re-attack the same position, X-Bit leads a charge and gets hit. X-Bit's down. Looks like Merrick
Russian
shoots him.
command down. That's unfortunate. Yeah,
Usually
some more
goes down.
mortars
That's a
right in
squad
this
lead.
ditch. There's at least a whole
They're
squad.
pushing
I
slightly
want
south.
more
You just flushed the whole
mortars,
squad
more
out.
mortars.
Mortars are coming out.
Oh. Yeah, Merrick and Sadis
Shift
here
south 100,
are just
south
holding
100.
a whole lot of the Russians here, and our
Oh,
mortars
goes
are
down
about
to a
to
mortar.
totally distant.
Zeke gets hit by another one, and Zeke goes down to another mortar. That's at least 4 or 5 kills for this mortar at this point.
Wow, the mortars are more effective when they're used against you, right? It's saying friendly fire is not so friendly. Or actually, no, what is it? It's friendly fire is the most accurate fire. And the Russian-made mortars being used.
James Range goes down.
Those mortars need
the
to
British
go
are using these
south
mortars to
100.
great
South
effect.
100.
And you can see Merrick and Sadis here both using their bipods, just really hammer in the Russians.
Scully, just an idea, but can we take the Logier truck?
Well, I know Merrick's definitely on his. I don't think Sadis is.
No, we're not allowed to do Logier runs. Oh, we're not allowed to, okay.
And we can't supply Russian fob
I
anymore.
don't think. Yeah, we can't supply their fob.
The Russians are doing their best to pivot.
They
out
are
of
160
this,
of
ditch
Merrick,
here,
100 meters. They're at
but
that
they're getting
rectangular
shot
field.
up. Kilo and Goose looks like they're engaging from the village.
Gulf
Yeah,
525.
a lot of the Russian team went down in that ditch. It's kind of a big graveyard now. But it looks like all of the Russian forces kind of got the order
They're
all at once to
155,
just
man.
collapse in and engage. And in the northeast, there's a firefight going on. There's not very many British looking that way or supporting the guys up there.
Spread them out.
Gulf 529 is a valid mission.
That's a pretty long range to be shooting. Is that a PK? No, is that a machine gun or something?
Yeah, it's a machine gunner.
Cop that.
Oh, that's an RPK.
MGT to the farm. I'm set up in the
Oh, I guess
Yeah,
you
each
did get a
platoon-
couple kills.
Yeah, the Russians just get the ARs. Yeah, that's pretty far south.
Roger that.
Raider 86 proving himself again with the LMG. Looks like he's able to get, looks like one or two people down
more
here.
mortars in the pit. Get somebody
Oh my
else.
God.
I didn't catch the name.
Looks like Damon and
And
Rebby B go
Shadowed
down.
is, or Stormfront is calling the mortars to come closer. Get closer
Merrick-
to us. Don't go further.
Noble 6
Oh
creeps
man,
up
Merrick
and
goes
snipes
down.
Merrick.
And
Grenade hits
Sadis
Sadis,
is
he's
probably
bleeding
hit
out.
with a GL, but that was a good GL on his part. The Russians here are pretty stalled out.
Look at
Noble
this.
6 with the SLs pushing up, leading his men from the front.
Sadis bandages himself. Noble 6, half a fire team behind him. Looks like they're very slowly crawling up. Sadis is going to do the same thing. Oh, he stands up. He's going to see these guys.
Oh, Sadis goes down, but
Not fast
Stormfront
enough
just
on a draw.
called mortars on this position, and Pony gladly accepted. Ooh, and a lat comes out just for good measure.
Takes out a bunch of sandbags out of the row there.
Ooh, more mortars. Really saying,
Oh,
hey,
double
don't go in
mortars.
this field.
They're on both of the mortars right now.
Oh man.
That round wasn't affected. But now Noble 6 has pushed up these sandbags. He's got a decent approach on potentially. But looks like this Russian push has stalled completely.
Yeah, as soon as that first set of mortars that was unfriendly came out, they kind of all just stalled out.
Back northeast, multiple ARs. Oh, look at this. Payne is leading a fire team to the roof. Raider 86 again.
Yeah,
And
he just
Smirk?
loves his machine guns. Like, if I ever see him in game, Raider Navy 6 gets the machine gun every time, no questions asked.
Sadly, we're out of ammo.
Oh, and Pony calls it out over the radio. Mortars are out of ammo. There's nothing left that they can put down.
Yeah, they're waiting around.
Raider 86 climbing on this roof.
They're going to be taking over that warehouse.
He's climbing up behind the sign here, but there's a bunch of bullets flying by.
And Mr. Sauce is engaging the last of the Russians in the ditch as they're trying to crawl up, and I think he just took out Noble 6. And he knows there's a couple more out there.
Perimeter if you need to.
They're close.
Only if absolutely necessary.
I'm done.
Yeah, Stormfront's just focusing
Ooh,
on
Raider
hold
gets
the
tagged.
perimeter, keep them out.
The British are now looking at this roof. They're looking to stop anybody from setting up top on this roof.
Oh, that roof is it's kind of a double-edged sword. If you can get up there unseen, it's amazing. But if you get up there and everyone knows you're there, you're instantly dead. And Sanders and who is this other AR? Sanders and Scout are doing a great job just nailing fire up to the north here.
Yeah, this is a pretty good defense. This is why I
Yeah,
like this side
especially
of
with
town.
these talking guns. Oh, and the British just see the rooftop.
Raider and Payne. I think Payne's out of bandages. Raider has to bandage him.
Wow, that's impressive.
Nope. Oh, he's not bandaged. Nope, Payne goes down.
Oh no, these
He
British
thought he
are
was
just
finished.
holding them off, just laying tons of fire, getting good talking guns going, and just making sure there's constant fire on that
I'm
rooftop.
also shifting a buddy team to watch
Payne
that
goes
side.
down because he moved before the end of the animation, and that's what you get for not waiting for your medic to tell you you're done.
Walk out south of that transport. It's hot.
And there's a medic right there too. Look at that, liberal pundit, giving the good old medic kit out there. Meanwhile, Shadow Squad is trying to reconsolidate across this field. Evil Dude's the last one here. Looks like he's got another guy still in the trees.
And the remainder of Noble Six's squad is retreating east, and they might run into this fire team that epically failed to get expit earlier.
This is interesting. This is they got to be reconsolidating. These guys have to be pulling out to reconsolidate with the group that's in with Fulcrum
I've spotted them
in the farm down there to the south.
There's at least a fire.
Yeah,
team.
regroup, try to figure it out, and
Yeah,
push
I
in
believe
from
there's
there.
one there.
I'm not sure. I don't even think if the Russians were fully. I don't know. These British are very well dug in here.
This is not looking good for Russians. They got to get some. They got to start fragging pretty hard here.
What they need are a couple of mortars. Or some armored vehicles. Just get a 30 mil set up on the hill, overlooking everyone.
Best Pony Squad pushing back from the mortars, using up all the ammo, could be in a decent position to assault this far south farm.
My people inform me.
But it looks like they're going to be passing it to the west.
In there.
Some pot shots coming from the British held town into this farm here that Russians have sort of held on to.
Yeah, Sugar just laying out some fire.
I think they were trying to get Burt Gummer here.
Yeah, I think he tagged Burt Gummer.
Yeah, still seeing at least a fire team to the south of the Golf 6-8.
Yeah, certain ranges, sometimes you get hit with the long range shot, and it doesn't like instantly give you the bleeding status, right? Sometimes the rounds lose enough damage over time and over range so that you don't have to bandage after you get hit. It very rarely happens when you're getting engaged at that distance, but it can, especially when it goes through walls too. But that instance right there, I believe Burt Gummer got tagged when he was trying to clear the field there, and it was just such a range. I believe he was getting shot at way far away. Maybe even Sughart up here was shooting.
Yeah, Sugar was the one laying fire on them. And the British are sending up a fire team to go clear up behind this two-story building, and they get fairly close, but one of them gets shot down. Not sure where from, but they throw a nade in there, and I think it hit quite a few of them. It's going to be quite the little assault. See if the Russians are able to hold it off.
Yeah, I hear him inside. They're throwing a nade.
Yeah, so Shadowed Ritual is the squad lead here. Oh, and one of his men go down by the dumpster. All the Russians know that there's bad guys here. Nades go flying in every direction.
Looks like Russians lose 2, British lose 1 there.
Yeah, no, it's better to use it while we have
UJK poking around the western side of the area. Some
yeah,
blind
UGK
firing
doesn't
going out by
seem to
Russians.
know what to do next. His buddy, though, who's his buddy here? Mr. Sauce. Mr. Sauce is holding that entrance they were looking at. And UGK is going around. It's really smart to go around the backside of the building while all the Russians look this way.
I think Mr. Sauce is expected to get pushed there. I don't think he anticipated the guy to be so close to him. And also, I don't think he saw the 3 guys.
Need to wait for you, to get up.
Oh, Angry Rocket.
Yeah, we're back to our northeast right now.
Copy.
Yeah, and the Russians have a medic with them, so they're able to re-heal there and kind of get back up to full strength, but it doesn't account for the lost bandages.
UJK pushing around the corner. Sauce holding that wall. Here we go.
Oh, Shadow's about to see him.
We just got revived.
Oh,
He turns
Shadow,
away.
you looked right at the wrong time. No, Shadow.
UJK whiffs every shot.
And this is why you don't use full auto unless it's like 5 feet from you.
They're all stacking up.
Yeah, I'm sending. So
Yeah, I don't
Why
know how
did
Shadowed
UJK
or any
miss
of those
everything?
Russians were alive.
You big dummy. You semi-auto.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
isn't.
yeah, once
Oh
you go down, you're
man,
good. The
that
medic
was
can
a
get back up.
fail.
Yeah.
You want me to just respawn?
Here we go. Now he's not going to look away from that corner. Guaranteed. Shadow's going to be watching that.
Nice playing with you, Raider.
Yeah, Punny, you're not supposed to revive.
Oh my god, he's turned around again. UJK. He's trying to decide, well, if he wants to do this again. He probably doesn't have any grenades. Uh-oh, Shadow pushing that corner. UJK is trying to communicate with Sauce.
Punny, just pull back to me.
Yeah, I think they're just a little too far apart with the building in the way.
Can you hear me? Push your corner. Push your corner if you can. All their attention's on me right now.
Understood.
Actually, here.
And UJK is pulling back.
Is he going to pull back and join Sauce back over there? Or is there a space between the buildings?
They're talking about trying to coordinate something. Yeah, UJK's running back. I think Sauce is going to push that corner. I think Sauce is going to let himself known. He's got 2 people watching him. Here it goes.
Oh, the UJK.
It was distraction.
Oh, and Sauce goes down in the first bullet. Oh no. The great distraction did not work out. And UJK, oh, he gets one.
He gets the medic. I think the medic's dead.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's the medic's down. The other guy's a lap.
My guy's still up.
Command, should we reinforce XF?
Shadow's
Shadow's
still
still
here.
up here with his buddy.
Coming behind.
And while this has been going on, the rest of the Russian forces have been falling back and reconsolidating in Upper
And
Petrivka.
UJK, a firm believer in the full auto, fails to kill Shadow. And Shadow's only got his lat guy left, who seems to be, like, super scared.
Oh, and Shadow goes down.
From out of nowhere!
Who was this?
It was Seabass and Lex.
Oh, Seabass.
From the road.
That was a good time
Look
to
at
just
this
sneak
shot.
in there with the AR.
It's time to appreciate this. Hold on. Look at this position. Lex, Seabass has the mini. Look at that shot. From here.
I am up.
From here, he saw Shadowed. Look at this. Look at this insanity.
Well, he knew he was over there from UGK probably. So I think they're in the same squad.
They may have been in the same squad, but I don't think. I mean, I guess I don't know. We're not in the squad, so we can't tell what they're saying in squad. But I wonder if they were really in communication with each other, because
Yeah,
I know
the bipod
you
just
hear
really
UJK
made the key to that shot.
Yeah, you could heir UJK was trying to distract them, so they would look around, and Sauce would come around the corner. That was a pretty good plan, but it didn't work out. But in the end, it just gave their team more evidence and more information, and they were able to make that kill.
Yeah, Private Christensen here, crawling away as safely as he can, because he's the last member of that squad alive. He's just like, nope, not going back. I'm out of
Look
here.
at this. Jive is over here with his fire team, Lil Bump and Mags. Magsnetic, I guess. Pushing around for some reason.
Yeah, they pushed through all of Petrivka, so they kind of cleared this lower Petrivka, and now they went through upper.
These guys aren't on a mission. They're just on a hike, my dude. They're
I
just like, I want to see all of the forest. I want to, like, you know the thing that the butterflies, the butterflies. You put the butterflies in the pin board, and you put pins in them, and you sort of put them behind glass, and you put them on your wall, and you think, I did a good thing. I did a cool thing of science on this hike one time. That's what these guys are up to, my dude. They're just running around. I don't think they. I mean, aside from
And
that
the
one
remainder
time
of the
where they
Russian
missed
team
command.
is west of them. Yeah, the Russians have all fallen back, and they've kind of more or less all regrouped on these big set of rocks that were used last game. But I'm not really sure what they're expecting to do.
This guy is scared. Private Christian L is just running away. He doesn't know what to do. He has lost it. He is just like, I know I came from this direction. I'll just run back that way.
Yeah, I think he's running back to the nearest
Oh, but
group
look at
that
this.
actually have comms left.
It's the entire Russian squad.
The last remaining Russian squad. So the British have done a really excellent job holding Central Petrivka. That's the western side of Petrivka. And it
And
looks
Best
like...
Bunny just called out the Russians on the north side of the road.
Oh, that's going to be the final nail in their coffin. And Stormfront sending out, it looks like a couple fire teams to just kind of probe that area and kind of see what they can encounter out there.
Yep. Jive's fire team just turned around. They're done with their hike, and now it's time to earn a living here. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty good position for Jive and his fire team to engage from.
Yeah, you can see on my screen, if it's up, the Jive and his fire team are the blue dots in the upper left, and the last of the Russians are the little red dots moving around. Might be a little difficult to see.
Little Bump sees them. Little Bump is calling them out.
And poor
he's trying to
Little
help
Bump, I don't think
Magnetic.
he's... I think Little Bump and company have had the entire Russian team in their sights a couple of times this game, and they keep being told, don't fire, don't fire. That has to be so frustrating.
Oh, Magnetics engages.
It looks like another fire team's coming up to help Little Bump.
Maybe it wasn't Mags, it was someone else. I guess Jive engaged. And now they're taking fire from that northern group. Ooh, this is an interesting counterattack here.
Woo! It seems very fragmented for a counterattack. I'm not sure why they're pushing out so far.
Yep, we see it.
All the ricochets. Oh, Jive gets healed finally.
He's backed off, he backed off. Oh, the British have taken control of this two-story building.
We got targets in our sights right now.
Seabass. Yeah, Seabass is up on top of this building, just spraying away. Just taking a guess and hoping, oh, somebody through this tree might be over there. And hoping gets the right shot.
Oh no, they both get taken down.
Oh, the Russians?
And now British are just throwing enemy over there for some reason.
And Pony Squad is actually reunited up here after that long hike to the woods, and Alpha Guido is just laying down the hate.
Watch yourself.
Silas is now by himself over here with the RPK.
That's about all he can do, is just hope that no one sees him.
Oh, if he opens his eyes, you could probably get someone if he was just a little bit closer to the road. But there's enough foliage between him and, say, FX over there.
Ooh, the lat goes out. Not sure what... Oh, that was aimed at Sugar. And misses him, goes high. Sugar set up here in Upper Petrivka, just using these low walls to his advantage.
Looks like we're getting closer to an operation here. The Russian push is stalled out again. And it looks like we're down to less than 10 Russians.
Oh my, so it's just about one squad left total?
They're also in the barn.
It seems that way. We got Silas north of the overpass by himself. He's just now shooting
Okay,
at...
now I'm bleeding.
Oh. The UK forces are falling back?
Yeah, the British forces, heard in a command comms a little bit ago, was just say, be worried about getting too overcommitted out here. It's very easy to be a defender and decide, oh, I'm going to attack these guys attacking me. I'm
just going to keep moving close.
Generally, that's a pretty good idea. But, like, it only applies for, like, the first 10 minutes of an attack. Oh, Silas gets called out here. Seabass from the roots of a tree. Silas bleeding.
Yeah, just spray and pray.
3 of those are your guys in upper pet. Just have them pull back.
Copy. They're coming
And
back now.
if Silas isn't going to move on here, a couple stray bullets coming through.
What size plane?
Silas is pretty disconnected though.
We got guys north of the road, probably about 50 meters to 100 meters north of it.
And XF calls out guys north of the road when it's literally guy.
Yeah, it's only one guy, and a bird person has set up on this rooftop, and he's been ordered to pull back his guys from the other direction, make the Russians push this big field instead of have the British try to hold them from getting into it. It's a very good call on Stormfront's part.
XF has split up his fire team of people here. He's got a buddy team searching north of him, or he's with the buddy team north, or he's half the buddy team north. Buddy team south to south of them. I think Seabass in this group. Seabass leading the group. Seabass sees him. For some reason, Silas is spinning around on the ground. He's like a little record player. He's round and round. He's in the bipod. Here we go. Seabass sees him. Silas sees Seabass. Lex sees everyone. Lex gets blown the fuck out away, and Silas crawls away. That's weird.
Silas is good at that sort of little ambush thing. Lets you know exactly where he's at.
Dude, it must have been the spin. The spin confused him. The spin just like mesmerized Lex, and he got hypnotized and didn't shoot at Silas there.
Yeah, we still got the AR.
Seabass is still looking in this direction now. Oh, look at this.
And I'm watching the rest of the Russian forces here, and they're pushing up to join Silas? This doesn't seem right. Like, I don't know what they're doing.
RPK, semi-auto.
I'd rather cry wolf.
Maybe XF is shooting in the blind here. Sorry, that's Ham Dog.
Yeah, so far, none of Stormfront's SLs have actually gone down, so he still has all of his original command staff.
And now Silas is looking at Hamdog's direction, but he's not looking at Seabass. And he certainly doesn't know XF is over there trying to sneak around the entire forest line. Silas is going to run away a little bit. He's got himself a tree fort. Take a look.
XF, how you doing, everybody?
He's got himself a little hunting blind, and he's going to try to hunt some Brits. Yeah, he's gonna prone. He's got one of those walls missing. Yeah, look at that. He's snug as a bug.
Yeah, and the entire rest of his team are coming up to join him. Not really sure what's going on.
I get a better picture here. If he looks in that direction, you might see Seabass.
Yeah, Seabass needs to be very careful here. This is kind of like the situation, though, that you see yourselves in a lot of whitelist games. You have a big fob and strong point on a cap zone. You end up with this, like, round-the-clock merry-go-round where the attackers just keep going around and around in a circle to try to hit, but the defenders keep being able to move their forces to engage them as needed. It's kind of what's happening here. The British, very strongly focused in the south.
There goes Seabass.
Did Seabass just go? Oh.
The hunting blind takes one.
No, he keeps on killing my men. I think I'm going to camp in the bush and wait for them.
And XF's going to do a little hunting himself. Seems like over command comms, he says he's going to hunt. He's going to hide in the bush.
The British are basically the bush meme tanks in War Thunder because they've got the
No.
hats just covered in them.
Next best pony for that little insight there. Look at all these Russians coming out of here from the south. They're pushing through. And Silas gets down from the hunting blind. He thinks it's time to go collect. It's what you do when you shoot something after you hunt it for a little while. You got to go get it. You can't just sit up at the blind the rest of the afternoon.
Oh, and Hamdog, XF's last remaining squad member, opens up on a couple Russians.
Yeah, there's more than one guy over here, for sure.
And XF calls it out as there's multiple Russians.
Well,
fall back, Hamdog. Fall back.
There are
There's
now
way
multiple
more than
Russians.
just like two guys.
Hamdog does a little displacing there after he gets shot
away.
Yeah, we're falling back.
Oh, but this is a mistake by Hamdog. He's running away, but right into the open. So that was covering him. He was exposed there for a moment there.
We got CPS and Uncle Fucker throwing themselves into this field. They want to try to cut them off, make sure they don't fall back over here to the east. Silas gets himself a little medic. Bert Scummer and Yamez. Maybe Private Christian L putting a little bit of fire on. It usually seems like he's in charge of this push.
And Hughes one, I think, is the last remaining original SL for the Russians. A lot of them went down during that mortar barrage. It seems like it was a long time ago at this point.
And here's Uncle Fucker and Christian L. They're looking through the trees. They want to make sure that no one is going to shoot them in the trees. Meanwhile, XF, YOLO, he wants to crest the top of a hill.
Down, I expect you take them all down with you.
So and then XF is just running around in this field in the open.
This is a good position.
Yeah, I don't want to sit there for like 3 hours.
This is a good position. XF might see Uncle Fucker here. I think he sees them lower in the field. They're about maybe 10 meters lower than him in this field. Probably about 100 meters away. Yeah,
he pulls out his gun. He's going to go for it.
Uncle Fucker's going down. Bing. Oh, misses.
No. Oh, yeah, XF misses. Totally whiffs that.
The first shot was pretty close, but the rest of them seemed to fall. They hit the little rise in the field there about maybe 10 meters, 15 meters away. And XF is going to run through.
I don't know. He ducked down as I shot
in
him.
the
My
direction,
first shot
though.
went right over his head.
I feel like the Russians kind of forgot that they're supposed to attack the town, and they're just having too much fun trying to hunt down XF and Hamdog here.
Well, I think it's difficult to push through when you're getting shot, when you're getting stabbed in the side. So it makes a lot of sense for Russians to try to keep circling around, because it's basically what they did the first round. They just didn't realize it. They were so discombobulated, it just ended up happening that way. But they kept circling the objective and making sure they weren't going to get stabbed in the side before they moved in. And they found a good place to do it. This time it's drawn out a little bit, and XF is getting
There's a nice little ravine.
completely encircled here, but I think he knows
They
it.
want to play the long game. I'll play the long game with them.
Actually, he doesn't. XF is looking behind him.
I see 2 Russians up to the north.
Fucker lines up the shot, tags him.
Misses.
Ah, fuck me.
He gets hit.
Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, there's I would say there's like a full squad up here with me.
He was behind.
North...
He thought he was behind the bush and had concealment. Little did he know, he had 0 concealment from Fucker, who just took about 30 seconds to line up a shot there. And now XF is crawling back to the bush to make sure he's got himself covered in his new position. But he's going to crawl right around this bush. Fucker's still looking that direction. Fucker's going to pop him right here. He's re-aiming. Maybe not.
Well, and all this has been going on. Squad 3 is British. Sending fire to eastern town just to double check and help clear them out and possibly get them behind them.
How long has it been since live at this point? Probably about 30-40 minutes, yeah?
Live
yeah,
was
I saw two guys. I saw 2 guys in the open field.
50 minutes ago.
And then another guy shot me to my north, and I'm like, oh fuck. And the fact that you're engaging probably about 2 or 3 people to the south.
Well, considering how many Brits are still left, I mean,
maybe
at
6,
this
7
point,
guys.
You gotta wonder if it's time to,
Well, I think I might have.
So if you
as a commander, I get scared of this.
Pull out the neckerchief and wave it around as you walk up to the British position.
No, I mean, as the Brits, I'm thinking, I got a superior position here. These guys are just running around. I think I know how many are left. If I got good intel on that, I'm throwing all my forces at it. I don't care. It's been an hour. It's almost been an hour, my dude. I'm at the 50-minute mark. If I know that I'm, it's down to the wire, I'm not moving out like that. But that's just because, there's a priority that's sort of this fine line. You squad lead these events. You gotta balance, obviously, strategy and tactics with will people have fun with it. And sometimes, every once in a while, you got to keep the general charge play in the back of your playbook. And sometimes you got to turn to that page.
I'm about to have my ARs fire right behind you at long range.
And I think keeping a fire team back in town and throwing everyone else in a certain direction has got to be worth it at some point. I think this is probably a good play for UK to do.
Yeah, just with the one fire team though, I would leave most of my force in town since there's no guarantee that all the Russians are dead. And the Brits fire a bunch of rounds really high in the air? Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about.
They look like bird persons.
That was a
No,
Truth
I'm not.
Realms buddy team up here on the roof.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to draw the Russians in so that
They're
they
shooting-
come in and hit this other fire team from Squad 3.
Yeah, they're shooting west of XF's position out here, just shooting way wild.
Oh, and Bird Team's fire team engages these Russians in this ditch that's on the north side of the road.
This is not good. Oh, here comes the across the road push. This is YOLO at the finest right here. They kind of skyline right here if you're in this ditch. They kind of skyline once they push halfway across
Yeah,
that
it's
road.
an excellent place for a little mini reverse slope. The Russians or
Oh,
the
look at that.
British have to push
Chameleon
down the
takes out
slope
Imanov.
into them. Oh, poor Imanov.
Skylines, Chameleon in the right place at the right time. Yamaz taking a few shots, maybe towards Shookhart's way. But Shookhart's still on the other side of the road, it looks like. Yeah. Shookart pushing across now with Peach close behind. Maybe.
Well, they're falling back, I think. I think the Sugar and company are falling back off the road. Trying to keep in a good spot. There's a couple bold Russians running right across the field just to the west here. And I think they gotta think they're gonna make it.
They're either out of command comms or they decided they don't care anymore. This is such a weird play.
You hear out on the command comms, Storm's asking his guys to pull back and just force the Russians to come in.
Silas is pushing in too. There's a few Russians within about 30-40 meters of Truth Realm and Damien here. But of course, this berm is so high where the road is that you really can't see close. Blind frag gets no one. Maybe Truth saw someone moving because there was a smoke pop there for a second. These guys are pushing up to the road here. They could get pretty lucky if they push up close. Of course, if they push up to this, the side of the road here with this railing, fucker could get pretty lucky here if he looks a little bit to his left.
These guys up on the two-story building with Bird Person and company, they're able to just get good eyes on these Russians. I think Bird Person sees that Silas over there.
Oh, Uncle Fucker drops Truth Realm.
Oh,
what a
no!
shot.
Oh no,
What a
Storm was doing
shot.
so well with not losing any SLs.
Oh, Storm is peeking this.
And Bird Person just took out Fulcrum, one of the last ARs for the Russians. And the rest of his squad is starting to engage off to the east there, drawing a lot of the Russians' eyes in the wrong direction.
Storm is back and forth. He's outside of his. It looks like he's peeking this direction to try to figure out where Truth got shot from.
How you doing, buddy?
I think Uncle might have seen him.
These Russians right now. We let them push past us and over to you guys. I think they thought we fell back to the main point.
Oh, they're engaged. Storm gets hit, but he's not bleeding. It's at range.
Yeah, they're sitting
Maybe he's bandaging.
direct north of us.
And then Kilo and Goose of Bird Person squad, they've been ordered to push up to clear the Russians off this road.
Oh, no. Damien's crossing the road in the open.
Oh, and Kilo and Goose are going to get him. They're throwing nades
Kilo.
across the road.
That was a grenade too far. That one
Oh,
hit.
that was a good one. Silas goes down. There's a good little mini push. Get out there, throw the nades, run away. It's great use of grenades. I think grenades, a lot of people forget, are actually a defensive item. They're not really meant to be used for offensive purposes.
My fire team just threw some frags on the north side of the road.
Uncle's still engaged in the building where Stormfront is in. There's a
Is he
couple
hitting
more people in that
Stormfront at all?
compound now. I think Stormfront got hit once, but I think he's got medic back up to health. Stormfront is, yeah, he just called it out.
Oh, and
just
Best
went out.
Pony
Uncle's-
leading his squad up
Oh my God.
in the right in front, right where Truth Realm got killed just
What the
a
hell
minute
is
ago.
this? What
And
the
yeah, I
hell
think
is
this is
that?
turning into the YOLO everyone charge in.
this is the YOLO by contact report with your entire squad reinforcement sort of mechanic. Oh my god, look at this! Oh, frag coming in.
Everybody was ordered throw a frag north. Oh, those are good frags.
The frag bounces just far enough to get Uncle bleeding.
Oh, Uncle goes down to the frags.
I think yeah. And then CPS is over here. They see him. We could be coming up
He's
close.
ordering them to attack, and he's pushing across the road.
Look at
while
this.
all of his men shoot.
CPS
there
goes
he goes.
down. Another frag wasted on nobody.
Magistic goes down though from the sky a little bit to his east. That Pony
No.
didn't see it all. I think this is the last two Russians. So Private
There's
Christensen and Yamez. Oh, and Chameleon. I didn't really notice Chameleon's still alive there.
They got this side of the berm, and this side of the berm is nice and safe from the other side of the berm. But of course, now
Right,
with people
and
pushing
Best
onto
Pony
the road
is pushing
and
up like a very crazy, reckless man.
Well,
Not sure
Best
what
Pony
he's
is a
thinking he's going
crazy
to
man.
do.
Pony's insane. Look at this. He's trying to look through this.
I think he wants that knife kill. He's sad he didn't get it earlier.
Look at he's standing up.
Use semi-auto! This is like the third time this game
What
we've
is it,
seen full auto doesn't work.
Chameleon whiffing every shot on Pony.
Oh, that was a nasty nade. Is this Private Christensen left? Oh, Yama is his last man. And XF is running up behind him. Let's see if he can get XF.
Okay, let's see who can get the knife. Let's see who can get the knife now. That must be the only thing on Pony's mind.
As
Oh, Yemez overshot.
I'm not sure what he was aiming for.
He was aiming for Alpha and Bump. They were cresting to his right there. Yamas gets hit. I think he's bleeding. And then Pony finishes
Oh,
the
he
job.
goes
looks
down. XF 1000, I think it's the last hit there. That was an excellent game.
Woo! That was a little firefight there at the end. But
Yeah,
look
that
at
was
that.
quite the intense little firefight. I was surprised at how aggressive the British got, and it actually cost them quite a few soldiers.
Just about half their team.
Yeah.
But I think it was worth. I think it was absolutely worth the fact that they were able to get all the way through to the mortars, and they just seemed to be always on the heels of whatever Russian attack was happening. Plus, that defense of the initial Russian push was so strong and was so effective, along with the mortars that they were able to commandeer, that Russia this round
Those
just had no
commandeered
chance.
mortars really turned the tide. I'm kind of sad that the mortars got commandeered like that, because I really would have liked to have seen what XFIT would have done if everything had gone perfectly. It was definitely a lot of fun to watch, though. Well, thank you everyone for coming on out. This has been the end of Operation Green Acres. Go ahead and come join us on Twitch or Twitch, which is Squad Ops. Website is squadops.gg. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitter. I think we're also on YouTube. So come join us. Come watch. Be one part of this One Life operation. Enjoy the mayhem. This has been Rose Dragon, and bcarr has been along with me, along with Barton in the background.